This is Unit 7 and we will discuss the demand of money. So what is the value of money? In the words of Crowther, the value of money is what it will buy. So as much goods and services that we can get in exchange of 1 unit of money is its value. As per Robertson, by the value of money, we mean the amount of things in general which will be given in exchange for a unit of money. So simply put, when we give 1 unit of money and the goods and services that we get in exchange for it is the value of that money. Value of money and price level. Value of various goods and services is expressed in the form of money. But money's own value cannot be expressed in the form of money. Why so? Because there are so many goods and services. If we start to represent the value of money in terms of every good and service available, there will be so many values of money available, which will make it very difficult for transactions to happen. So what we do is we take a group of goods and services which are regularly used by people and then we find a price index. So how we calculate the value of money? Value of money is equal to 1 upon the price level P. So this is 1 divided by price level P. And this price level P is nothing but the price or standardized price of those group of goods and services called the price index. So in the words of Irving Fisher, the purchasing power of money is the reciprocal of the level of prices, so that the study of purchasing power of money is identical with the study of price level. Theories of value of money. The theories of value of money help us to determine the value of money. In this reference, two important theories are quantity theory of money and Keynesian theory of money. Let's start with quantity theory of money. Quantity theory of money simply states that there is a direct and proportionate relationship between the quantity of money and the general price level, and an inverse relationship between quantity of money and the value of money. Now, what is value of money? We just discussed that it is the power or the capacity of money to buy me goods and services. That means value of money is nothing but the purchasing power of money. So quantity of money has a direct relationship with price level and an inverse relationship with the purchasing power of money or the value of money. Now let's read quantity theory of money by two very famous economists. As per J.S. Mill, the value of money, other things being the same, varies inversely with its quantity. Every increase of quantity lowers the value and every diminution raises it in a ratio exactly equivalent. So just that in a different language. In the words of Fisher, other things remain unchanged. As the quantity of money in circulation increases, the price level increases in direct proportion and the value of money decreases and vice versa. There are two equations of quantity theory of money. The first one, transactions approach of Fisher's equation, and the second is cash balance or Cambridge equation. Let's discuss transaction approach of Fisher's equation. In the Fisher's equation, it says that the quantity theory is correct in the sense that the level of price varies directly with the quantity of money in circulation, provided the velocity of circulation of that money and the volume of trade are not changed. Now, what do we mean by velocity of money? Velocity of money is the number of hands that bill of money changes hands. How many times it goes from different, it changes hands. That is the velocity of money. Now, in general terms, a simplified equation is this also. Py equal to mv. Many places you will see this as the simplified equation of, or the Fisher's equation of transaction approach of money. But essentially it is just an expansion of the same. Here M and M dash both represent money, and V dash both represent velocity, but in different ways. So M is the quantity of currency. So here we are talking about currency or money in circulation, and V is the velocity of that currency, how many times that currency is changing hands. And M dash is the quantity of bank money or credit money which is available, and V dash is the velocity thus of the credit money. So if the equation is just Py equal to Mv, in that case M is money and V is velocity. But if we talk of a more expanded form of the equation, M is the currency and M dash is the bank money. V is the velocity of the currency and V dash is the velocity of the bank money or the credit money. So in this equation, if we just bring Y down here, divide it here, we get this equation. Now, one more important thing to see here is that this relationship that we are getting between price level and money, you see that they are directly proportional, right? And we discussed this previously also, that quantity of money and the price level, we see that they have a direct relationship, and quantity of money and Y have an inverse relationship. So here that is only depicted, and we'll see this through a numerical example just in a minute. You see that as the price as price increases, this is increasing, and it's directly proportional because all these points are making a 45-degree line. That means the relationship is constant among them. So let's take up a numerical example to understand this further. Here I have M, or so currency is rupees 100 and velocity of currency is 8. M dash, which is bank money or credit money, is 200 and its velocity is 4. Now remember this 100 and 200, and Y is 400. Inputting all this into this equation, M is 100 into 8 plus 200 into 4 divided by 400, right? You simplify this and we get 4. So value of money we know is 1 by 5, or purchasing power of money is 1 by 5, so it is 1 by 4. Now we want to establish a relationship, this P with this M. So now if we double it, let's see what happens. If I double this M from 100 to 200, let's see what happens. M now becomes 200, velocities are same, Y is same. Now M becomes 200 and M dash becomes 400. If I double it, now if I solve it, I get P is equal to 8, which is double as previously we had 4, and the value becomes 1 by 8. From the given example, it is clear that by doubling the quantity of money, price level also doubles. That is, from rupees 4, it increases to rupees 8, and value of money reduces to half, from 1 by 4 to 1 by 8. So when this increases, when money in the economy increases, its value decreases, or the purchasing power decreases. From the given example, it is clear that when quantity of money doubles, then price level also doubles. See, when the money in doubles, the price level in the economy doubles. So when there is a lot of money in the economy, you must have seen that there is a sort of inflation, or prices are high. That means the value of money has gone down. You can now buy less quantity of goods and services with that same amount of money. Alright, it increases from 4 to 8 and value of money decreases. In the Fisher's equation previously discussed, there is concept of supply of money and demand of money. In the supply of money, it depends on two factors. First, the quantity of money, and the second, velocity of money. We know that the quantity of money was M and M dash, and you have just understood that M is currency, and what is currency? The notes and the coins. M dash was bank money, which was nothing but the credit money. So here you can read that quantity of money is the sum of money in circulation and the demand deposits of bank, which is M dash, which is total supply of money is M plus M dash. Now what is velocity of money, which is V? It is the number of times a unit of money changes hands during a specific period of time. The formula for the same is gross national product upon the money in circulation. Now let's discuss the demand for money. Money is demanded because it does the job of medium of exchange. Hence, on any given time, demand for money depends on the exchange being done in the society. So this depends on two things, that is the trade transaction and the price level. Of course, if the prices are too high, I need a lot of more money to do my transactions for the same amount of goods that I need. Similarly, if the price levels are low, with less money I can buy those same goods and services. So trade transactions, which are why trade transactions is meant gross physical quantity of goods and services sold in the form of money through trade transactions. Now all of this will be recorded in a specific period of time. Price level, average price of each unit in a specified period of time is known as the price level. It is known as general price level. Hence demand for money is P into Y, which is trade transactions into the price level. Quantity theory of money, which we have just studied, is based on four assumptions. The first one being that the velocity of currency and the velocity of bank money, that means V and V dash, are both constant. Generally, the economy is considered to be in a situation of full employment. Third, constant trade transactions. Fourth, constant proportion between bank money and currency. Now this fourth assumption is taken because suppose that as an individual you have more money. So you will keep more in the bank and you will have more currency with you. At the same time, if there is less currency in the economy, people would withdraw their money from the bank and therefore there will be less bank money as well. So we understand that M and M dash will always be in a constant proportion of each other. Theory that we just have studied has various criticisms given by different economists. Let's go through some of them. First, that this theory is a simple truism. This means that this relationship or the equation which Fisher has given is a universal truth. This equation between price level and velocity of money and the quantity of money is already known to people. There is nothing new in it, which Fisher has stated as an equation. Second, it is based on a lot of unrealistic assumptions. For example, it has taken the velocity, the transaction quantity, and things like that to be constant, but in reality, things are not constant. Third, it has taken these variables as not independent, as independent, but the reality is that these variables are not independent. You can look at this chart here. It shows that how these variables are changing each other. So they are not independent. They affect each other. Fourth, this theory is lopsided. It only considers one function of money, that is that transaction demand, or money is used as a medium of exchange. It has not considered the other functions of money, that money acts as a store of value. It has ignored that side of money. Fifth, price level is not a passive factor. In reality, price is an active factor. When price changes, it affects a lot of things in the economy. It affects how we will choose to whether buy or not buy the product, and it will affect a lot of things. Sixth, it is applicable only in case of full employment. Again, this was an assumption taken by the theory that it is applicable only in the case of full employment, which is not always the case in the economy. The economy usually functions in a situation of not full employment. So what about the applicability of this theory in those times? Seventh, it fails to explain trade cycles. We know that the economy exists in trade cycles. There is boom and there is trough. There is a recession, there is inflation, all of that it fails to explain. Thus, it is inconsistent. It ignores the effect of rate of interest. Now again, look at the chart here. Change in quantity of money leads to a change in interest rate, which leads to change in investment. We know that if interest rate is high, that means cost of investment is high. There is less investment. If the interest rate is low, investment is high. So direct relationship. And when there is a change in investment, it changes the income through AD. We saw that in the aggregate demand curve, which is a accumulation of C, I, G and Nx. So if the I component changes, the entire AD changes, which leads to a change in the income and employment situation of the country. Now this changes in the cost of production and thus changes the price. So entire this impact or this change is, or the effect of interest rate is ignored. 10th, it is difficult to measure velocity in Fisher's equation because of two things. Firstly, that we do not know in that specific period of time how many times actually that money has changed hand, and secondly, in a country like India, there is corruption, there is black marketing. We do not know the amount of money being circulated or the velocity of that money in circulation at that point of time. 11th, it ignores the effect of non-monetary factors. It is not only the monetary factors that affects our buying decisions or our demand for money. Yes, we remember we studied demand for money. Uh, it depended upon two things, the price level and the transaction demand. So our transaction demand or our demand for money is not only affected by monetary factors. There are non-monetary factors like psychological factors, tastes and preferences, etc., which do affect, and those are not taken into account in the Fisher's equation. So these are some criticisms discussed by various economists like Rotherham, etc. about Fisher's equation. Cash balance or the Cambridge equation. As per the Cambridge equation, value of money is determined by its demand and supply. At a definite point of time, supply of money remains constant. Hence, changes in demand of money have more effect on value of money or the price level. Let's discuss the supply and demand in this respect. The supply of money. As per the cash balance equation, and as we have also previously discussed, the supply of money is the total money in form of notes, coins or any currency with the public and the demand deposits. So as you can see here, supply of money is notes, coins and the demand deposits. The demand for money, on the other hand, is the sum of cash balances. Money is not only demanded as a medium of exchange, but also it is demanded for using, for accumulating that money, for holding it for future purposes. Different economists have given different equations of the cash balance equation. Now let us discuss the first one given by Marshall. Here he has given the equation as M equal to KY, where M represents the quantity of money, Y represents the income, and K represents that part of the income which people want to keep as cash, that is in the most liquid form. So quantity of money is equal to cash held into the income. So M is equal to YK. But we also know that the monetary income Y is nothing but the product of gross production and the output level. So let's take O for production or output and price level be P. So Y can be replaced as P into O. So in place of Y, we have now given P into O. So the equation now becomes M equal to POK. Or if I want to single out P from here, this becomes P is equal to M divided by OK. This. Now to explain this better, we take a numerical example. If M is equal to rupees 100 crores, O is 500 units, or we can say the gross production is 500 units, K is 1 by 5, that is people want to keep 1/5 of their income is cash, then what is P? P is M divided by OK, which is 100 divided by O, 500 into 1 by 5. So we get rupees 1 per unit. Now we will discuss the cash balance equation which was given by Pigou. This equation reads T is equal to KR by M. K, as we previously discussed, was that part of actual income which people want to hold as cash. M is the quantity of money and R is the gross actual income. Let's understand this better. Value of money is the inverse of general price level. We know that. money value, which is the purchasing power of money, is inverse of the general price level. People do not always keep all of the money in the form of currency or legal tender. Of course, when you get your income, you only keep a part of it with you for transactional purposes. The rest we deposit it in the bank. Keeping this fact in mind, Pigou made some amendments in his equation and kept K as the legal tender money and the rest in the bank. So the new equation now changes. P is equal to KR divided by M. Within brackets we have C plus H and 1 minus C. What is C? The cash that people are holding, and 1 minus C is amount that we have deposited in the bank. What is this H? This H is the cash reserve ratio, or that part of bank deposits which bank keeps with itself as cash. We just modify this equation to bring M on the left hand side, and we see that the equation has changed in this way. To understand this better, we've taken a numerical example. Assume that K is 1 by 4, C is half, and H is 1 by 2. C is the cash you are holding, H is the amount of cash that you wish to hold, and the rest is deposited, and H is the CRR, or the cash reserve ratio. R is 2000 quintal of rice, M is 550. We have to now find P. In this equation that we just derived, we will input all the values, and we see that P is half quintal of rice. In this diagram, demand and supply of money is shown on the x-axis and value of money is shown on the y-axis. The DD is the demand curve of money, as you can see here. This is the demand curve of money, and these vertical lines are the different supply curves. So can you see, when we intersect the demand and supply curve, we get different value points. So when the supply increases from OM1 to OM2, then the value of money is decreasing from OP1 to OP2. So we know as the quantity of money increases, the value of money decreases. The same relationship we had established earlier, now we are able to see that through this diagram. So still, in reference to the change in value of money, Pigou has given more importance to K as compared to M. That is, in comparisons of supply of money, demand for money is considered to be a more important determinant of value of money. The last equation of cash balance was given by Robertson. The equation is as follows: M is equal to PKT, or P is equal to M divided by KT. Just a rephrasing of this equation, where P is the price level, M is the quantity of money, T is the quantity of goods and services bought at a specified point of time, K is again same, that part of T or income which people want to keep as cash. This equation is considered to be better because it is much easier than the previous equation that we have discussed. The criticism of these theories are as follows. It takes up some unrealistic assumptions because it assumes a lot of things to be constant which are actually not constant in real life. It ignores the speculative demand for money. We know that money is demanded for transactions, precautionary and speculative purposes. So the transaction and precautionary purpose is taken, the speculative purpose is not taken into account. So does not give a circular reasoning. It starts from one end, it's not able to complete that circular reasoning. It ignores, thus it is also called an incomplete theory because it ignores the effect of rate of interest, and we saw that rate of interest had a lot of following interest on other factors. It ignores the influence of the real factors, lack of integration of theory of value and theory of money. Thank you.